I know. I should just do it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, 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 yo! What's up? This is episode 140 of the Collective Podcast. I am AC from LA. He is SG Trilogy. And together we are the Collective Podcast. What is going on, my brother? How are you today?
Brother, we are back. We are live in the mix. I might have a little Barry White going on right now because it was a late night that
Okay.
turned into an early morning. But man, I'm happy to be back here with you. Happy to be feeling good and healthy. And I'm glad to see my brother, man. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well, brother. I am doing very well. We are in the midst of March Madness, while we in Southern California are also in the midst of weather madness. And I mean, I went to sleep. I dozed off last night, and then I woke up a couple hours later in the middle of the night, and I was in the midst of a storm. And I know I just used midst 3 times, but it is what it is when your mist without a D turns into a full blown storm. You might say midst with a D multiple times. But I'm doing well, brother. I am doing well. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back with you, and I'm excited. I'm excited. We're gonna be here for a good time today, not a long time. So just want to throw that out there. And I guess Sam, you could go ahead and let the give the people what they want and tell them how to find us, when and where, and
Oh man.
yeah, kick it off.
Man, you took me back to some EPMD and the Def Squad. Got to give the people what they want. When you said that, it just gave me a flashback because that was a dope song. So we have a saying here at the Collective Podcast, and we have modified this saying. And depending on what day you're rocking with us, we're gonna go ahead and keep it modified. So times are always best when you can connect with the Collective Podcast, and we truly believe so. So we have quite a few ways you can stay connected with us and tapped in to see what we are doing. First and foremost, you can check out our official website, which is the collectivepodcastofficial.com. On Facebook, we are TC Podcast Official. On YouTube, X, and IG, we are TC Pod Official. On IG, he is AC from LA. And yours truly, I am SG Trilogy. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that, sir. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and share our topics for the day. It'll be similar to what you've seen in the past, but I'm gonna take the mic back from Sam, and we're gonna kick off NCAA women's basketball. Then we'll go into men's basketball. Then we'll go into Major League Baseball because Major League Baseball is back. We'll talk a little bit about the team that Sam converted to out there in Arlington, and then we'll talk
No, we're not.
about
'Cause come
we'll
on,
talk
man.
about
Come on,
Sam's
dog.
lifelong team.
No. We started this morning off well, and
Okay,
then you trying to
I'm
throw a zinger.
Then we'll go into the association, and then the culture, tech talk now, the closeout. And I got my hand slapped because I I had too much content in the culture, so I gotta scale it back. Oh my goodness!
I'm just saying, do I need to come on with some tech talk now? My gosh.
And then the closeout, and then the closeout. So that's where, that's how, that's what's going on today, and we are excited to be here with you. Excited to bring this to you. So there you go.
There you go, man. That's a nice hue of blue on that shirt, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
This is called what is the code for this? Oh, it's UCLA blue. There you go.
there you go.
There you go. It is UCLA blue. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and kick off NCAA women's basketball, and we'll just get you, or I'll just get you caught up. Um, you know by now a lot. You as viewers and listeners know by now a lot of what has gone on in the bracket. So I don't have to go over a lot of it, but I'll just kind of talk you guys through briefly what we've had and where we are. So going all the way back to our first four, which I believe that there had already been two games. No, actually, no, we were going into the two games were happening when we went live. So in the first four, we had Presbyterian over Sacred Heart, Holy Cross over UT Martin, Arizona, who I actually picked to beat UConn, over Auburn, and Vanderbilt over Columbia. So that was our first four. And then I'll just go region by region, kind of what we had happen. So as expected, number one seed South Carolina won their first round game, and then number 8 North Carolina won their first round game over Michigan State, and then South Carolina beat North Carolina to get to the Sweet 16. Oklahoma beat FGCU, Indiana beat Fairfield, and then Oklahoma subsequently Indiana, the number 4 seed, subsequently beat Oklahoma to make it to the Sweet 16. Number 6, Nebraska crept by Texas A&M, beat them by 2. Number 3, Oregon State over Eastern Washington to make it to the Sweet 16. Then we had Ole Miss, the 7 seed, over Marquette, and Notre Dame, the 2 seed, over Kent State to make it to the Sweet 16. Oh, by the way, on the women's side, we had 0 upsets. Yeah, 0 upsets in the first round. There's something that you could consider to be an upset. No, we did have one upset. Okay, I'm getting to it. There was one upset in the whole first round of this tournament. So we had number 1 Iowa over West Virginia, and they actually crept by them. And then number 5 Colorado beat number 4 Kansas State to get to the Sweet 16. We had Middle Tennessee State, our lone round of 64 upset winner, the 11 seed over Louisville, 71-69, and then LSU over Rice. And so they meet in the Sweet 16 today. And then you had Creighton over UNLV, and then UCLA over Cal Baptist to go, and then UCLA barely over Creighton. Creighton pushed UCLA to the limits to make it into the Sweet 16. So that takes us to the Sweet 16, and we had Indiana yesterday, the 4 seed, had South Carolina on the ropes. Really, really, really had them on the ropes after being down double digits late. And South Carolina survived with a 79-75 win over Indiana. So they being South Carolina, made it to the Elite 8. Notre Dame, powered by Hannah Hidalgo, a super freshman, a first-team All-American, and just the dopest, to me, the dopest combo guard in the country. And we have to say combo guard these days because not everybody plays defense, but she's a top-tier defender, top-tier offensive player, so she's a combo guard. That's what I mean. I know that sometimes combo is like they could play the 2 or the 1. She can do that too. Oh, I guess I should call her a two-way player.
Two-way. Yeah.
Guard. That's what it is. A two-way guard. Well, anyway, Notre Dame was favored, the 2 seed over Oregon State, the 3 seed. But there's a little situation yesterday. So right in the break between the first quarter and the second quarter, Hannah was told that she needed to take out her nose stud, take the diamond stud out of her nose. And the word was there's no jewelry allowed in the NCAA. And so if you have piercings, you're supposed to put a plastic tube there. Okay, so I won't pretend like I don't know the rule because I officiate the sport. I do know the rule. Now, speaking objectively, word from most people that chimed in, coaches from around the country, as well as Notre Dame players and coaches after the fact, she's played with it all year. Literally played with it all year, including last week in the tournament, also including the first quarter yesterday. Excuse me. However, she was told to take it out at the beginning of the second quarter. And guess what? So the quarters on women's basketball are 10 minutes, Sam. Guess what time she came back in the second quarter?
Came back in without it or
Yes,
with it?
yeah, they had to take it. They had to take it out.
I'd say
She
she
needed
came
help.
in the second quarter. She came back in with a minute left. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that horrible. But in the 10 minute quarter, she
Mhm.
spent 509 on the bench. She came back in at the 451 mark, which was the media timeout.
Oh,
So
wow,
yeah,
wow.
and so they were rolling a little bit at the time. They being Notre Dame, and just ultimately, I mean, she came back in, and they weren't they were down four when she came back in, and they couldn't pull it out. And I'm only giving you that piece because that was important to her story and probably the story of the game because they got a little momentum when she came back in. I mean, she's a first team All American and she was sitting on the bench for 5 minutes and 9 seconds of the second quarter. But Oregon State, the 3 seed, upset Notre Dame, the 2 seed, 70-65. So that leaves us with those two games in the Elite Eight. Oh wait, did I go? Oh, here's the other side of it. So Stanford favored the number 2 seed, favored to win. I didn't even do the bottom of the bracket, did I? Okay, my bad. All right, here's your Sweet 16. The other 8 teams that are in your Sweet 16: Texas, Gonzaga, NC State, Stanford, Baylor, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse, UConn. That's not right. Texas, Gonzaga, NC State, Stanford, USC, Baylor, and UConn, Duke. So Texas put hands on Gonzaga yesterday. They jumped out to an early lead and wound up winning by 22. So that was the 1 seed over the 4 seed. The 2 seed Stanford really struggled against the 3 seed NC State, and Cameron Brink, also a first team All American, um, and projected to go number 2 in the WNBA draft behind Caitlin Clark, was in foul trouble throughout. And then Stanford's number 2 player, who was their shining star in their round of 32 game after Cameron Brink fouled out, was shining again. But she picked up her third foul really early in the third quarter. And even though she finished with 26 and 10, it was just rough for Stanford to right the ship. And so Stanford wound up losing 77-67 to the underdog, NC State. So that's two more into the Sweet 16. That's Texas versus NC State. And then we don't know what's going to happen on the other side. The other 8 teams are playing today. So that'll be the 4 games. It'll be Iowa hosting Colorado. Well, I mean, it's all a neutral site, but number 1, Iowa versus number 5, Colorado. Number 2, UCLA versus number 3, LSU. And by the way, UCLA is the only higher seed in the Sweet 16 that is not favored. So pure and complete disrespect. Just want to throw that out there. And then number 1, SC versus number 5, Baylor. And then finally, number 3, UConn versus number 7, Duke. So that's getting us caught up on what's going on in NCAA basketball. Put it like this: LSU UCLA is at 10 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Central on ABC. It is ABC's featured game today. It's ABC's featured content today.
Mhm.
It's big. It's big. So go Bruins. You were completely disrespected by the bookmakers. They have you. Everybody. All these people want to see. Even Sam. LSU versus Iowa, and then Iowa versus South Carolina.
Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Today, you're trying to bait me for that. You
Trying to,
know, I righted the ship with that.
oh,
I want to see the Bruins handle them. But look, I want to kind of dovetail. I want to jump on what you were talking about with that being LSU UCLA being the biggest game on ABC today. I was talking to a couple of colleagues yesterday who are huge men's NCAA men's basketball fans, and they clearly said the names in women's basketball, in women's college basketball today, are bigger than the names in men's college basketball because of they build something in women's college basketball. It's not the one and done mentality. So you're getting to know these players and you're getting to see them and you're getting to truly experience their star power. So I found that quite interesting because I know you and I have talked about as the game of women's basketball continues to grow. And at some point, yes, we appreciate it for being women's basketball, but we've talked about the importance of embracing it for being basketball. For being basketball, it's not sub tier, it's not second fiddle. It's literally it is quality basketball. So that is dope. That is the marquee matchup of today.
All right.
We need Michael Buffer to tell you, let's get ready to rumble because it's gonna be a good game, man.
There
It's
you
gonna be a
go.
good.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Well, thank you for that, brother. And then
Yep.
let's see. What does my guy Fieri say on Tournament of Champions? Not to be outdone, let's go to the WNIT. And so the terms are a little different. In the main NCAA bracket, you have opening round of 64, round of 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then championship. So the WNIT, much like the NIT, which Sam will talk about in a minute, you've got the Super 16 and the Grade 8. So I want to talk to you guys about that. The Super 16 games happened over 3 days, so it's not as succinct as the NCAA tournament because it's about scheduling, it's about having those venues. So these games happened Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the Super 16 of the WNIT. Minnesota beat North Dakota State 69-65. Wyoming beat South Dakota 84-52. And now in the Grade 8, Minnesota will play at Wyoming. Both of those teams won uh, won upsets. They were underdogs in those games. And Wyoming actually beat the brakes off of South Dakota. I take that back. They were favored. I'm sorry. They were both favored. I thought that game was in South Dakota. So now that game is in Wyoming. So that's game one of the Grade 8. Then you had Troy beat North Carolina A&T. That was an upset. Troy won 89-75. Southern Miss lost to Louisiana Monroe. And now you have Troy versus Louisiana Monroe at Troy. Another Grade 8 matchup. Wisconsin beat Illinois State 86-61. St. Louis beat Purdue Fort Wayne. That was an upset 82-78. Now you have St. Louis at Wisconsin. That's 3 down, 1 to go. Colgate at Vermont. Vermont won 65-55. Duquesne at Purdue. Purdue won 71-50. Now you have Vermont at Purdue in the final game of the Grade 8. And those 4 games, they are all taking place on the home team's floors on between today and let me see. Nope, all these games are Monday. So the window says Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but all of these games are actually scheduled for Monday. Unfortunately, probably not on ABC, but they are still the Grade 8 and they will play on Monday. So I am super excited about everything that is happening on the women's side. You guys may or may not know, and if you don't know, I'm about to tell you, and then you'll know. Um, I've actually officiate women's basketball, so I've worked a number of the players that are in the tournament, and I've worked with a number of the officials that are working the tournament. And it's this is a very exciting time of year for me. Growing up, I was heavily into both the men's side and the women's side, so that's continued. I'm a little less into the men's side now, mostly because of the opposite of what Sam said. Um, they don't do a lot of building on the men's side. People don't stay, so I don't get a chance to really get excited about the players. And so I will say this about the UCLA men who are missing in action this season. There aren't a ton of people leaving early. And even in the days of like Baron Davis and Baron Davis leaving early, um, the rest of the cast around him did not leave early. So you got a chance to fall in love with BD, but Earl Watson stayed, other people stayed, and so you watch these kids grow up in the program. Now people will play at a program for a year and either go pro or go into the portal. And it's like, oh, I remember that name. Oh, he doesn't play there anymore. So I will say about North Carolina, you can make all the jokes that you want about Baycott. He stayed, right?
Hey,
And it was fun to see, like North Carolina actually build something. So I know some of the names there. And then you'll have like nobody's leaving early from San Diego State. So you see some things happening at San Diego State. But I don't want to steal Sam's thunder. I'm just saying I'm super excited about this tournament. So this is what we have. This is day 2 of the Sweet 16 for the women. And I told you who's playing today. Go Bruins. And then tomorrow will be day 1 of the Elite 8. And then tomorrow being Sunday. And then Monday will be day 2 of the Elite 8. And then out of that, we'll have the Final 4. And the Final 4 play on Saturday, April 5th. And then the championship game will be, on Friday, April 5th. And then the championship game will be on Sunday, April 7th. So it's funny, the way that this works. On the women's side, we've played on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and the men have played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it flips when we get to the championship, and I'll let Sam tell you when the Final 4 is and when the championship is. But it winds up being Friday, Sunday for the women, and I'll leave the men to Sam. But yeah, very, very, very exciting. You had the upsets yesterday. I'm not and I guess if UCLA wins today, it would be an upset. So I guess I want the upsets to continue. I don't know. It's a weird thing because UCLA is being disrespected. But yeah, I'll say this: the tournament is exciting. So check it out. All right, Sam, off to you, my brother.
all right. Well, man, look, I appreciate.
Wait. What's up, Cobbs? That's right. Go Bruins. I would say give me an A clap, but I just say 4's up. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Sam.
Look, wait a minute. And I got on the 4. There we go. I'm repping with you guys somewhat.
You have on a 4? Hey, so for our listeners, Sam has on a 4 on his T-shirt.
There you go.
And it's very close to UCLA It's blue. It's actually Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity
Royal
Incorporated blue. But,
Yeah, that's a little royal blue right there.
oh, it's just royal blue? All
Yeah,
right.
that's just the royal blue.
Oh, it's Texas Rangers blue.
No, don't you even do that. Don't you do it. I don't know what's wrong with you today. All right.
Let me tell you. So you know how we had our pre-production, and I told you I was going to circle back to what you said. So you need to get out and get something today. So the opposite for me. I had 3 lacrosse games yesterday. 9 miles. 9 miles of sprinting and stopping. I'm dusted. And so I am super excited to have gotten through the hard part of the podcast, which was, where I had to be completely on. And then my next hard part is Tech Talk Now. So I'm just in recovery mode, brother. And so I'm super excited, and I'm happy that it's your turn to talk.
Well, thank you for handing the baton over.
Yes, Sam did. Pick
No, I did not. If you look at my bracket, I have UConn winning it all. Now, I did have Marquette. I had Marquette moving beyond yesterday's debacle, but I have UConn winning it all, Cobbs. If you're going to get in here, tell the truth and shame the devil. Come on now.
Ooh.
Yes. And where? Listen, I might need $2 from you, Cobbs. Let's go.
$2 reference. Bet $2. Bet $2.
$2. Bet.
Listen, thank you to all of our viewers right now. We got some people watching. Thank you for tuning in. For our listeners who are listening back, thank you again. This is episode 140 of the Collective Podcast. We've got Gretchen watching too, so I want to shout out Gretchen.
Hey, Mom.
Mom. Hey,
That's Mom. That's Mom's, brother.
Hey, mom. So she sent the
Put some,
heart.
you better put some respect on her name. That's mom's.
Moms. What's up, moms? And then we got Cobbs, who is AC Sports Live, and he goes live on Tuesday nights in a whole bunch of places. A whole bunch of places.
A whole
Right?
bunch.
All right. He's got your $2. All right, Sam, kick it off.
Kick it over here, baby pop. All right. So as we talk men's NCAA March Madness, and in some cases March Sadness, the reoccurring theme as we closed out the men's season ahead of the tournament was what? What do we talk about every week was our reoccurring theme, brother, if you can remember? You remember? It was upsets. Upsets.
Oh,
Upsets.
well, that's the thing. Sam loves close games. Like, he loves everything to be in doubt. And I've never really polled him on if he loves everything to be in doubt when it's the Raiders or like when it's Seton Hall. Maybe only when they're underdogs. I don't know if he wants it when they're favored, but he does love not knowing, right? And upsets are fun when it's not your team.
It just makes your blood pressure is like, you're on a roller coaster. So look, that theme has continued out of the gate. So the first round of the NCAA tournament saw 6 notable upsets. And that came in the form of a 13 seed Yale Bulldogs defeating a number 4 seed Auburn. And that was a close game down to the wire. As mentioned, I do love close games, 78-76. We had a number 11 Duquesne, or as one of my buddies said, man, how do you pronounce that school? Is that Duquesne? It's like, no. You have a 11 seed Duquesne that defeated a 6 seed BYU. You had a school that's relatively new. When we're talking basketball programs, we're looking at schools, we're looking at those blue blood schools that have been around for 100 years plus. But Grand Canyon, who is not that old, Grand Canyon came in as a 12 seed, and they told St. Mary's, the 5 seed, see ya, wouldn't want to be you. And so they put the smack down on St. Mary's in the first round. James Madison came out as a 12 seed and defeated a number 5 seed Wisconsin. Wisconsin had a superb season in the Big Ten, but they couldn't handle James Madison. A number 14 seed Oakland University toppled a 3 seed Kentucky 80-76. So back to your point, AC, that we were talking about the growth of the women's game and the growth of even in men's college basketball. When you have those teams that are fortunate enough to keep their players, they're able to build something. They're able to build momentum. And so when you look at a program like Kentucky men's basketball, that's a program in which every season we see that they land typically 4 to 5 McDonald's All-Americans, 5-star kids who their bottom line is they want to get to the next level of the NBA. And so Kentucky, a team that is stacked year after year, we've seen them hit the stumbling blocks year after year because they have so many one and dones. And we saw that in the first week. Closing out the first week of big upsets, you had an 11 seed Oregon give it to a 6 seed South Carolina. So that was round 1. As we moved into round 2, we continue with the theme of upsets with a number 6 Clemson over a 3 seed Baylor, 72-64. Perhaps this one was really close because you had a 5 seed versus a 4 seed. Gonzaga toppled Kansas 89-68. And Gonzaga ran it up on them. Like literally, Kansas could not catch up. They played catch up the entire game, and they just didn't have enough. A game that was good and went down to the final seconds as we moved into the Sweet 16 action was a 4 seed Alabama over a number 1 seed Big Dog, University of North Carolina, 89-87. Heartbreak City for North Carolina. You had a 6 seed Clemson over a 2 seed Arizona, 77-72. 11th seed North Carolina State over a 2 seed Marquette, 67-58. That game sounded a lot closer at the end than what it was because NC State came out with a strategy of just let's bang it into the bigs and press the entire game. And that clearly had Marquette flustered. And Marquette typically plays under control with, their coach Shaka Smart has those guys conditioned to play fast break basketball. But with the press that NC State came out with, Marquette basically couldn't even get off in a fast break. And then another number one seed came crashing down. 4 seed Duke, 54 over number one seed Houston, 51, which was another close game. And Duke really showed some poise towards the end of that game. Go ahead, my brother.
Quick question for you. Would
Yeah,
that
yeah.
be like a double whammy for North Carolina fans? That, first of all, Duke lasted as long as them, but then
Mm-hmm.
also, not only did North Carolina as the number one seed go down, but then Duke upset a number one seed to stay alive. Do you think that's a double whammy for the Tobacco Road fans on
Oh,
the
you
Chapel Hill side?
you know it's a double whammy. You know that's a
Just
don't
checking.
watch. Look, that's a don't watch any sports highlight shows for a cycle because you don't want to relive your team losing and your arch nemesis prevailing when no one even thought that Duke would still be in the mix. So I'm sure North Carolina fans are probably drinking away their pain today or trying to just sleep with their head under a rock.
Ooh.
Yeah, bro.
That's my so
Um,
our references. Let's see, drink away the pain. Mob Deep. There you go.
there you go.
There you go.
This is why we're the collective. You look, you might as well call this the collective slash connected because we are connected. Bam. From there, now we are in the midst of Elite Eight action, and we have two number one seeds remaining in the fold. So, number one seed UConn, who has run the table. UConn, Danny Hurley has the UConn Huskies looking unstoppable. And unless they run into someone who has found the kryptonite to stop them, UConn looks like they're going to continue to move in the right direction. So we have a number one seed UConn Huskies facing a 3 seed in the Fighting Illini of Illinois. You have a 4 seed Duke coming up against an 11 seed North Carolina State. So that's going to be a little fun back and forth there. And I think North Carolina State might end up upsetting Duke. I'm going to go on the record to say 11 seed North Carolina State will stun the 4 seed Duke. Yeah, Duke Blue Devils. That's what we're going to do here. We have a 4 seed Alabama Crimson Tide against the 6 seed in Clemson, and then the number one seed Purdue Boilermakers against number 2 seed Tennessee Volunteers. And I'm going to go on the record to say that 2 seed in Tennessee, with their defense, they are going to deflate the hopes for that number one seed Purdue. Down comes crashing number one seed Purdue. You heard it here first. So that is it from men's NCAA action. And from there, we're going to transition over to the National Invitational Tournament in the NIT. So one thing you mentioned, AC, when you were talking about the NIT is the fact that the games are played on the host team's home field or at their home field. And for me, that's the appeal actually in it. When, yes, by no means is the NIT as big as the NCAA tournament, but I like the feel of that home gym, home field advantage type of deal when you're in a tournament. You can still see the students, the fan base, and it's exciting. One difference with the men's is the men's tournament up until now, because they're going into the semifinals, which in essence is their final four. That game is being played in Nebraska. So yeah, that game's been played in Omaha, Nebraska. So unlike the women's who are still playing in their home stadiums, the men have left their home stadiums and they'll go play what is their final four and their championship in NIT action. So with that being said, number one seed Seton Hall Pirates out of South Orange, New Jersey, they're facing up against those dogs out of Athens, University of Georgia. So that's one game in semifinal action. That's going to happen on Tuesday. And then we have Indiana State Sycamores against the Utah Utes in semifinal action. And once those games conclude, we will know who's going to face one another in the upcoming championship for the NIT. as you know, me being a Seton Hall guy, I like to see Coach Shaheen Holloway continue to coach those guys up and hopefully come out on top in the NIT tournament, brother. And
Okay.
that is what we have for men's college basketball, brother. Thank you.
All right. So I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that. So let me circle back real quick because
Okay.
I forgot to do coaching changes.
Oh,
So
yes.
um, there were three. I'm just gonna go with Power Five. Three
Okay.
Power Five openings, if you will. So at Kentucky, Kyra Elsie, former speaking of Tennessee, former Tennessee Lady Vol player, um, was relieved of duty following the SEC tournament, and she was subsequently replaced by the Virginia Tech head coach, who was absolutely not relieved of his duties. But he wanted to take the Kentucky job because people generally are going to take that SEC money over ACC money. So he jumped from Virginia Tech to Kentucky, which leaves an opening at Virginia Tech. And then you also had the Clemson job open up. And so Clemson is still open. Virginia Tech is still open. Kentucky, as I stated, is now closed. So that's it for Power Five. No, it's not. One more. Miami. Katie Meyer is out at Miami. So there's one more Power Five opening, but only one of those Power Five jobs has been filled, and that's Kenny Booker, like I said. So that's that. And then I kind of wanted to go back really quickly to what Sam said is the appeal of the NIT and the WNIT to him. The host, the higher seed hosting the game. Um, this is one of that the related note is in the NCAA women's tournament, you have four seeds, right? You have top four seeds, and you have four each of one through four, right? Because you have four different regions. Well, each of those four seeds host the first two rounds at their home. And the idea behind that is they didn't want to have neutral sites in the round of 64 and the round of 32 because it would be hard to basically to fill up the stands. It's changing now. It's absolutely changing now because more and more women's basketball fans are traveling earlier. But the idea was at least have the arenas packed with the the fans of the top four seeds, and then once you get to the Sweet 16, go to the neutral sites. But that's kind of the appeal there, and they came up with that decades ago and have not moved off of that, and it works. So you always know that when you receive a top four seed on the women's side, you're going to host the first two rounds as long as you make it out of the first round. The one exception that I've seen is one time there was a four seed that didn't have access to their arena during the time, and so the five seed wound up hosting that group in the first two rounds. So it was what it was.
No,
Yeah. So
and and to that point, like I looked at with Seton Hall. Seton Hall, their gym that's on campus holds roughly 1,200 people. But during the regular season, they play their home games at the Prudential Center, which was the former home of the New Jersey Nets, which holds, 19,000. So they were able to pack a 1,200 seater as opposed to if they played at the Prudential Center for the NIT, the attendance could look dismal. So, no, that's a great point that you brought up.
thank you. And then for anyone
Mm-hmm.
confused about him saying New Jersey Nets, because some people don't even have never even heard of them,
Mm-hmm.
that's what the Brooklyn Nets used to be, and that's where the Brooklyn Nets played when they were not in Brooklyn. So
There you go.
there's what's the Prudential Center. That's what Sam's giving you there. He's giving you K knowledge, And I
There you
say K knowledge because Sam said resignate earlier. And for those of you that don't know, we really play with the term resignate because one of Sam's really good friends says resignate instead of resonate. And he or she said it in front of both of us, and then we've run with it. And so
Wait, so do you want the truth or is that the answer you're sticking with? That's what you're gonna.
I didn't even hear a question, so I guess
Oh,
that's fair.
or is that just the emphatic statement you're gonna make? You don't want me to put the truth in there, do you?
What is? Are you
I'm
sprinkling?
I'm sprinkling the truth in there.
Is it at least sea salt, or is it just like
Sprinkle,
table salt?
sprinkle me, man. You're supposed to
Sprinkle
pick
me,
that one
man.
up.
Sprinkle me, man. You said Tennessee earlier. You said Tennessee was going to get that win, and I had this queued up, but I didn't want to disturb you because sometimes I'll play it and you'll be like, "Oh, I'll knock you off kilter." So I just wanted to give that to you.
That was spot on, man. Do what you do. Do what you do.
So yeah, then don't you guys like how Sam called his March Madness / Sadness? Wow,
That's it.
wow. So more disrespect coming. Are we going to Major League Baseball now?
Oh, one thing I did forget to mention. So, men's Final Four action is scheduled to tip off on Saturday, April 6th, and the national championship game will take place on Monday, April the 8th. So, just wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
So when I told you guys that they switch up when we get to the Final Four, the women have been playing on Monday the first 2 weeks, and then we get to the final week, and it's a swap. It's Friday, Sunday for the women, and then Saturday, Monday for the men. So there you go. So when we come on, what we will know is who will be in the women's championship game, and we'll just know the men's final four. Nothing will have happened when we go live next week. So there you go. Stay tuned. Where are we going now? Oh,
We're gonna hit
Sam
it.
is about to disrespect us. Go ahead, Sam. What are we starting off with for Major League Baseball?
So, if it's one thing that we do, we understand the importance of respect. So, if you're going to talk about Major League
Oh,
Baseball,
I like how you spun it. I like how you spun it.
if,
You got to
if
go
you,
to Sam's first. Okay,
yeah,
Sam.
so if you're
I
going to
like
talk,
you. I
yeah,
like
so if you're going to talk about Major League Baseball, regardless who your allegiance is with, you have to talk about the defending champions of Major League Baseball tipping off their season against the Texas Rangers, tipping off their season against the Chicago Cubs. And game number one tipped off on Thursday, and it was a close game down to the final inning in which the Rangers pulled it out 4-3. So, congratulations to the Rangers. They were able to hang their first and only championship banner, and it was a great deal of hoopla and fanfare in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field. So, congratulations to the Texas Rangers organization as they hope to defend, or well, they will. They are defending their championship. But the interesting thing is they're an American League team, and I think there's some guys over in the National League that are going to have something to say about that. So
say word.
they're
Say word.
going to have something to say about that.
Say word.
And so as my co-host throws on that hue of Dodger blue, I'm going to toss it over to him. Come on now. Do what you do. Talk that talk. Let's go.
Hey, so listen. So for those of you who have been living under a rock or living under multiple rocks or living over in New York at 30 Rock or sitting on the third rock around the moon or whatever the heck that was called, the Dodgers have made, we still got people talking, have made some moves. You know what? My man over there, Cobbs, wants me to jump the gun and say, Mookie! All right, so yeah, Mookie is my favorite player, y'all. So the Dodgers made a couple of moves. Dodgers picked up a couple of pitchers not named Shohei Ohtani, and they also picked up Shohei Ohtani, who will not pitch this year, but will pitch next year. And oh, by the way, he just jumped into the lineup as the number 2 hitter in between Mookie and Freddie Freeman.
And Freddie. What's Freddie? Can you do Freddie's dance? What's
Mookie I'm going to say that there's enough. No, I can't. You got it. Thank you. All right. So cool. Okay, we got people tapping in. That's what's up to all of our viewers, all of our listeners. Thank you. So the Dodgers actually opened their season in South Korea last week. and split with the Padres. They put hands on the Padres in the first game, and then they lost the second one in um, in game two. But that wasn't opening day for Major League Baseball. So on opening day, Mookie hit another home run, and the Dodgers won 7-1. Otani got his first hit, his first at bat. Freeman got on. Like, it was just beautiful. So 7-1, the Dodgers opened up on opening day, and that was Thursday. Then on Friday, the Dodgers won again, 6-3. Mookie hit another home run. Yeah, the Dodgers are playing with house money. They're just playing with house money. But my guy, all right. So the Dodgers are rolling in the National League, and the Dodgers hope to let's give the respect. They hope to. Wait, who did the Rangers play? Oh, we already
The
know.
Cubs. Yeah.
No, in
Oh,
the
in the World
Series.
Series. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the Dodgers are not the defending National League champs, but they hope to get back there. So
There you
that's the
go.
key. That's the plan. We're gonna get it started.
And tune in. We will talk Major League Baseball for a very long time because you have about 160 games remaining in the regular season. So this is going to be a reoccurring theme. As it intensifies, we'll have some weeks where we just scratch the surface, like this is our, let's get the season started. We'll sprinkle in a little more here and there. And then once things pick up, that's when we'll get a bit more intense with some Major League Baseball for you.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's up. All right. So where are we going now?
We are going to my stepdad had his best friend. He would always say, the National Basketball Association. So
Okay.
we are going to the National Basketball Association.
Okay.
And so as we enter this week, we have roughly 3 weeks remaining in the season. It's kind of tough because the NBA is picking up momentum. Everyone's trying to make that final surge to make it to the playoffs or the tournament. But with men's NCAA action, it's been kind of hard for me to really be really tapped into the NBA. So I'll kind of just give you a brief overview of where we are currently with the NBA. So NBA has roughly 3 weeks remaining in the season, and there are roughly 21 teams who are still playing for something. 21 teams who are optimistic that they're going to reach that Larry O'Brien trophy and get up on a podium and talk and be happy. So 21 teams think that they could conceivably do it.
Even if 16 of them are delusional. Okay. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, there's always that part. All right. So in the Eastern Conference, the 10 teams that will make the playoffs or the SoFi NBA play-in tournament, which AC has talked about eloquently,
Thank you.
those teams are pretty much set. And so we have the 11th place Brooklyn Nets, who are 5.5 games out of the play-in and not playing well enough to be any kind of threat to take the 10th place Atlanta Hawks. In the West, the 11th place Houston Rockets, they've really made some traction, and they trail the 10th place Golden State Warriors by, starting the week, they trailed the Warriors by 1 game. But the Rockets are the only team that the Warriors have to worry about. The Utah Jazz, they've gone on a post-trade deadline swoon for the second straight season. So I say that all to say, I like that. The Association. Shout out to Mark Gibson. Detroit, stand up. What up, though? So as we talk NBA, we will get back to the NBA. I'd say probably with a week left because I really want to focus on some men's college basketball. But, if you are an NBA fan, please tap in with your team. If you have any NBA questions for us, feel free to chime in with said questions. As I said, we're just going to scratch the surface and recognize that we have 3 weeks left in the NBA. And there's a lot of movement still, but let's be realistic. There are roughly a good 20, 21 teams that actually have what could be a shot. So there we go, brother. We can wrap up the NBA with that one.
Well, I just want to throw this out there, just since you brought it up, and since we're going to take some time off from the association or the association. So as it stands right now, with the play-in tournament, this is how it would look with Brooklyn being out and not a threat, and then Houston knocking on the door. Right now, you would have Golden State playing at the Lakers in the 10-9 game, and you would have Atlanta playing at the Bulls in the 10-9 game. The winner, I'm sorry, it's the reverse. You would have Philly playing at Miami in the 7-8 game, and you would have Sacramento playing at Phoenix in the 7-8 game. And the winner of that game, of those two games, would be the 7 seeds. The losers, so the loser of the Miami Philadelphia game would play the winner of Atlanta at Chicago. And then the winner of that would be the 8 seed. And the loser of the Sacramento at Phoenix game would play the winner of Golden State at LA, and the winner of that game would be the 8 seed. So I know that it is a confusing situation, but I'm completely willing to bring it on back to you when it comes up. But right now, that's what it's looking like. Okay? Okay. So if you're the 7 or the 8 seed and you lose that first game, you only lose the 7 seed, but you still have a shot at being the 8 seed. So that's how that play-in tournament works. All right, my brother. What are we moving on to now?
It's time for the culture. The culture, the culture.
All right, so the great and legendary Louis Gossett Jr. passed away on Friday at the tender age of 87. Boy, did he touch so many lives, so many lives. What an absolute great career for an absolutely great person. So rest in peace, Louis Gossett Jr., and prayers to his family and friends.
And I actually have a Louis Gossett Jr. story.
Of course you do. Kick it off.
It never fails.
Kick it off.
So I'm a teenager. I think I was 16, 15, playing basketball one weekend at Culver City Park. A vehicle pulls up. Out comes three gentlemen, one being Lou Gossett Jr., and he asked could he hoop with us. So he played a little half-court basketball with us young guys, and we were all so enthralled by just his presence. And the thing was, we were kids, but he made you feel like you were truly someone because he gave you his time and he was really attentive. So when I heard that he passed away, it gave me a flashback because that was, 30 plus years ago. But I remember it like it was yesterday, just, having a brief moment in time to interact with him, to meet him, to talk to him. And he wasn't a celebrity. He was just one of the guys that day. So that was a great, great memory that I have of him. And, may his memory live on.
All right, thank you for that. And Sam's about to talk about something right now, and it made me think of. We almost told you guys that BMF was back, and we didn't. So we'll just say it now. BMF is back. We won't go into detail because it's not really anything that we could really talk about on the
Right.
podcast. But it's something, and they actually featured what Sam is talking about in the first couple of episodes. What Sam is about to talk about in the first couple of episodes of this season. So, yeah, and shout out to Vonda who is watching and echoing what Sam says about liking close games, except with her team. So she feels me. I don't want
she
my
feel,
team in a close game.
she feels your pain. That's
Yeah, but
funny.
then she feels you on the close games. So there you go.
There you go, man.
All right,
There you
brother.
go.
What are you gonna tell us about? What documentary are you gonna tell us about?
All right, so Hulu has this documentary, the Freaknik documentary, which was executive produced by Luther Campbell, Jermaine Dupri, and your guy, 21, 21, 21 Savage. And so it is a documentary that chronicles the iconic Freaknik. Freaknik began in the 80s in Atlanta with students who were students in the Atlanta University Center, students from Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark Atlanta University, Morris Brown College. And so it walks us through what they intended for a spring break celebration at Piedmont Park turned into something that they never could have imagined. And so, as a person who was a student in the Atlanta University Center in the '90s, who experienced the oohs and the ahs and the sights of all things Freaknik, it gave me a flashback to the just reminiscing, man, of the good old days when you would get with all your friends and hang out, and it was glorified. It was pretty much a glorified party outside. Every single square mile of Atlanta was cars everywhere, people coming from surrounding cities, people coming from the Northeast, from the West Coast. It was packed with thousands. It initially was packed with thousands of college students, but as it continued to build momentum, the documentary goes into the not so positive side of it with what it did for traffic and the interactions that a lot of young people were having with law enforcement, and also how the culture at the time was really a culture of, bravado, macho, overly sexualized culture, which ultimately derailed the efforts of Freaknik, because the intention was for some college students to get together, have a good time, throwing a party, barbecue in the park. But it just turned into something that was huge. So if you haven't seen Freaknik, the Freaknik documentary on Hulu, I'd say check it out. If you did attend college in Atlanta, specifically in the Atlanta University Center, it's going to be something that's truly dear to you, because you're going to see a lot of the sights of being on campus and the surrounding area that will kind of take you back in the day. I can remember when I lived in my dorm on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, which was right across the street from Morris Brown. I literally would just open my window and it was a soundtrack playing with just so much music and people hanging out, and it was a good time. So I say check out the Freaknik documentary on Hulu. I've truly
Yo,
enjoyed it.
so when you say Atlanta University Center, for those of us that are outsiders, is that the corner of Clark Atlanta, Morris Brown, Spelman, and Morehouse?
Yes, it all comes together. And the street that we all share is James P. Brawley. That's where the library is. So we call the library, it's the Woodruff Library, but it was known as Club Woody. Back in those days, there was a record store directly across the street from the library called Audrey's. And so the likes of Jay-Z, Tupac, you name it, any of the top rappers, Eric Sermon, E40, Too Short, they would all come to that small mom and pop record store and do their in-store signings and passing out snippets and things like that. And then directly next door to Aubrey's record store was Stiegel's. Stiegel's was the hole in the wall. Cafeterias closed at night. They stayed open till 1 a.m. You can go there and get you some chicken wings and a drink for $4, or two-piece whiting and a drink for $3. And so it was that place that so many of us students, poor students trying to make it happen, pursue your dreams, we would all converge on Stiegel's. We'd all converge on Aubrey's record store. And then we would sit and eat our food, listen to music on the steps of Club Woody, the library. So it was a great experience, man. And one of the best experiences of my life. That's one of the, it's crazy. When it came to leaving LA, it was tough because growing up in LA, all your friends are there. The weather's great all the time. But when it came to leaving, when I got to Atlanta and I saw the Atlanta University Center, I was like, whoo, this is it. I'm staying. And it was the best opportunity, best experience I had in my life. What you got, brother? What you got?
What you guys heard in the background was me playing Jermaine Jackson's "Don't Take It Personal." So, for those of you who constantly and consistently feel disrespected by this man, don't take it personal. He spreads it around, even to Parrish Smith. He just dissed PMD. Like, it's
No,
okay. No,
I used Eric Sermon because Eric Sermon was living in Atlanta and he owned a rim store with Too Short. So that's why it was Eric Sermon.
okay.
Thank you. It
So,
wasn't Paris. Paris wasn't there.
you can
Paris
tell.
wasn't there. It was Eric
He
Sermon.
never went. PMD
I
never.
never I never saw Parrish Smith there. I saw Eric Sermon there.
So what I will say is Samuel is Sam is on point with his comebacks when I point out the disrespect. He's doing a really good job of combating the perception of him being so disrespectful. And we did know that Too Short went to Atlanta because he told us. He told us he was leaving the Bay and going out to the A. So there you go. There you go. So, I feel like you should go. You should do your music first because
Oh yeah, because yours is so it's interesting. Let me give the people some insight. So how we craft the show is we have our segments that we're responsible for. So typically, when you're responsible for your segment, you produce your segment. You produce all of the content that goes in your segment. We share a rundown throughout the week so we can see, we build the rundown. So,
he doesn't
unbeknownst,
look at it until Saturday mornings after his ride. So let's keep it real. You don't look at it during the week.
that's neither here nor there, folks.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. I give the people what they want. That's all that matters. So, unbeknownst to me, I'm working yesterday and I had a late night. I go into my rundown and I see my segment is dominated by the ball hog of AC from LA. And I said, what? Is this his way of telling me that I'm peacing out? What is going on here? So I went ahead, had a great night rest, and I got up this morning and I said, you know what? We're going to talk about this today because if this is my segment, first of all, I need to be the one that approves what's in my segment. But I'm going to give him a pass today because I'm giving some grace. That's what we're doing. I talked to this man about giving grace. So today I'm giving him some grace. So without further ado, I'm going to put you guys up on two musical projects that I am really enjoying right now. The first one is from DJ Polo, and it's called If the Glove Fits EP. It's 4 songs. It's electronic dance music. Great for working out, great for just zoning out, kind of kicking it. And so I like it for my workouts because it's real intense. And so, as I said, check out DJ Polo, If the Glove Fits EP. It's only 4 songs. And then the next one, you probably didn't even know that this was in my wheelhouse, AC, because we typically talk about East Coast hip hop as it pertains to me. But believe it or not, there's some versatility here in SG Trilogy. You heard that? Versatility in Trilogy. I love this Sheryl Crow project, Evolution. It is 9 songs of finely produced Sheryl Crow, and I love some Sheryl Crow. So check out Sheryl Crow's Evolution if you are a Sheryl Crow fan. I truly enjoy that project. What you got, brother? Since you're gonna steal my thunder, go ahead. Go ahead. This is AC from LA's The Culture.
Well, I was just queuing up Willie Nelson. So I'm gonna let Willie Nelson introduce introduce the next piece of the culture. You guys heard of Willie Nelson? Sheryl Crow likes Willie Nelson.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm here. Up next on the Smoke Hour is Just for Fun by Beyonce.
Beyonce. Okay, I don't know. Let me get my thoughts together. Beyonce, the the artist, the vocalist, the performer that transcends genre, dropped a hot one on us yesterday called Cowboy Carter. It's a country album. It's a double country album or a country double album, depending on your perspective. And we knew that it was coming for a number of reasons. Like she dropped Texas Hold'em. Well, she dropped 16 Carriages, and then she dropped Texas Hold'em. And I'm going to say she absolutely did not disappoint. So, in addition to having Willie Nelson on here, like really Willie Nelson, she's got Dolly Parton on here. She's got an actual duet with Miley Cyrus called Two Most Wanted, which is super dope. She's got Linda Martell on here. She's got Brittany Spencer. I mean, but she's also got Beyonce on here. Like, this is 27 tracks of amazing. And I just want you guys to just give it a chance if you are so compelled. If you either like country or Beyonce, then give it a whirl. If you don't like either, then don't give it a whirl because it's probably not going to change your perspective. You have to like one or the other to try this out. I happen to like both. And I'm going to tell you that Lemonade is my favorite album by Beyonce. And I think that like hardcore Beyonce fans don't feel like Lemonade is their favorite. And I'm just a fan. I'm not like a hardcore fan. I think that she's like amazing, amazing, amazing. But I don't love like everything by her. But this project, I didn't skip a track. I did not skip a track. I'll give you guys a little piece of Texas Hold'em, which was the second track that she dropped, and then we'll move on. But yeah, I'm just gonna give this to you right now. So this is Texas Hold'em. Yes, that's Beyonce starting off with a banjo. Seriously.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold'em.
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em. That's all I got. So the project is Cowboy Carter. It dropped yesterday on all DSPs. You can also still buy it. You can buy the vinyl. You can buy the CD. I don't know what a CD player is, but I'm told they still exist. And there you go. What you got, Sam?
Man, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact of this. So by no means am I the greatest Beyonce fan. And there's no shade on Beyonce. That's typically not a genre that I roll with. But a couple of things. So that song that you just played, Texas Hold'em, correct?
Yes.
That is a song that has taken over country music. And country, let's say, a lot of traditional country enthusiasts were upset when Beyonce decided that she was going to move over into that genre. So I want to say first and foremost, it amazes me when the talent is undeniable. And even when people are upset, they cannot stop the machine. They cannot. So kudos to Beyonce for putting out a project that she's truly passionate about. And we are country music because Black folks have created everything, and country music is an extension of the blues. Then secondly, anytime an artist can create, there you go, number one on the charts. Anytime an artist can create, continue to create quality and not have to be boxed or stifled to be in one specific lane, I commend them for having that courage. So I commend her for stepping out of one specific lane and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do what I do because that's what I do. So kudos to Beyonce, man.
Yeah, kudos to Beyonce. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, so for our listeners, Beyonce's Texas Hold'em has been on the charts for 6 weeks, and it's been at number one. It debuted at number one, and it's been number one for 6 weeks. So there you go. That's Beyonce. That's Cowboy Carter. Check it out. A lot of great solos on there, and then some nice features. And I love Texas Hold'em, 16 Carriages, Daughter, Tyrant. But then I get down with Miley Cyrus, and some people may not understand that, but I don't really care. I like a whole lot of music that y'all may not like. I really like that duet. Two Most Wanted. All right. So is it time for TTN?
Yes, it is time for, I'm doing all Tech Talk Now today. So it's time for my segment, Tech Talk Now.
All right. So we have Samuel with Tech Talk Now.
This is Tech Talk Now.
Let's give Sam another chance.
This is Tech Talk Now.
All right.
New AC from LA.
All right. So as Sam has told our listeners that rock with us over and over and over again, and our viewers that rock with us over and over again. He never knows what I'm going to cover in Tech Talk Now. So he's always as surprised as you guys. That being said, here we go. So today, forecasting the future, the tech revolution in weather prediction. Welcome back to Tech Talk Now, where we explore the fascinating interplay between technology and our everyday lives. I'm AC from LA, and today we're delving into a topic that affects us all, regardless of where we live or what we do: the cutting edge technology behind weather forecasting. Ever wondered how meteorologists predict weather with such accuracy? Well, buckle up, because you're about to find out. Let's start with the basics. Weather forecasting has come a long way from the days of simply observing the sky. Shout out to Rodney Saucier, who used to just observe the sky when he was a weatherman for his village. Today, it's a high-tech science that uses sophisticated tools and algorithms to predict weather patterns days, weeks, and even months in advance. Unless you're in Southern California. No, just kidding. At the heart of modern weather forecasting are supercomputers, mighty machines capable of processing billions of data points from around the globe in mere seconds. The supercomputers run complex mathematical models that simulate the Earth's atmosphere and its interactions with the land, oceans, and ice. These models, known as numerical weather prediction, or NWP models, are the backbone of today's forecast. They crunch data from a myriad of sources: satellites orbiting Earth, providing real-time images and measurements, weather stations scattered across the globe, monitoring temperature, humidity, wind speed, and more, and even ocean buoys tracking sea temperatures and currents. But that's not all. The rise of machine learning and AI, that's my bag, in weather forecasting is a game changer. These technologies are refining the accuracy of forecasts by identifying patterns and anomalies in historical weather data that human forecasters might miss. Imagine AI systems that learn from past weather events to better predict future storms, like the one we're having right now in SoCal, heat waves, or cold spells. This isn't just theoretical, it's happening right now, like I just said. One of the most exciting advancements in the use of drones and weather balloons is their effect on how we predict weather. These high-flying tools collect data from parts of the atmosphere that are hard to reach but crucial for understanding weather systems. Drones, for instance, can fly into hurricanes and other severe storms, gathering data that feeds directly into forecasting models, helping predict a storm's path and intensity with unprecedented accuracy. So, what does this all mean for you and me? What does it all mean? What does it all mean? What does it all mean? Simply put, better weather forecasts save lives. They allow for timely evacuations before severe weather hits, help farmers plan for planting and harvesting, and enable airlines to route flights more safely. But beyond these critical applications, they also make our daily lives more convenient. Ever check the weather app to decide whether, pun intended, to bring an umbrella? That's technology at work. The future of weather forecasting shines bright like a diamond. Shout out to Rihanna. With innovations like hyper-local forecasts that could predict weather conditions for your exact street or even your backyard. We're looking at a world where weather predictions become more localized and precise, all thanks to the relentless march, pun intended, while we roll through March Madness, of technology. There you have it, folks. The incredible world of weather forecasting, where technology and science converge to peel back the curtains on Mother Nature's plans. From supercomputers and satellites to AI and drones, the quest for accuracy in weather forecasting is a testament to human ingenuity and the power of technology. I'm AC from LA, and this has been Tech Talk Now. Remember, the next time you check the weather forecast, there's a world of technology behind that simple prediction. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the amazing ways technology shapes our world. Sam over there clapping for a brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that.
This
Man, that
is
was
Tech Talk Now.
that was dope. That was dope, man. We talk so much about the weather, and now with us not living in the same state, like the contrast of weather, because on one end, you're waiting for down buckets of rain, and it's sunny and 82 on this side.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's interesting how it all comes together, and I'm privy to meetings throughout my work week with a meteorologist staff who talks about the various models and the difference in models. And one of the things we're gearing up for across the world is the solar eclipse that's happening on April the 8th. So exciting times, especially when it pertains to weather. And I think, people need to remove the stigma of being intimidated by studying the weather. It's so important. And with all of us walking around with these supercomputers in our pocket, it's so easy to just pick up the knowledge and begin to understand the trends, and you're able to see, the effects or the impact of global warming. So that was a great comprehensive report, brother.
Thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. And listen to this. Listen to the entitlement of it all. Not from Sam, but from the NCAA. So the solar eclipse is April 8th, and that's also when they schedule the men's championship game. So they just really couldn't just let the eclipse be the eclipse. No, I'm just kidding. It's always on Monday. So kidding. But that's dope. So Monday, April 8th, you get a double dose of wow. You get the men's championship game following the women's on the 7th, and then you also get the solar eclipse. Right. And if you didn't know that it was coming on the 8th, Sam just let you know. So there you go.
It's coming. And we will never see it. We will never see it again. So it's important, if you can get out and see it, get out and see it. I'm fortunate to be in the path of totality where it's going to come across Texas. So I'll be able to see it. Yeah. I'll keep you posted.
So get up, get out, and get something. All right. So Sam, it's going to be time to close out now. I will let you know that I am going to mention the Bruins in my closeout. So just giving you a preview so you can mention Seton Hall if you want. You don't have to, but I'm just letting you know. I don't want you to have FOMO, which is fear of missing out, or regret for missing out could be the other one. Tony Romo. Regret of missing out? Or regret from missing out? I'm running on fumes. I'm having a ball with you, but I'm gonna eat and then go and then gear up for the In 42 minutes, I'm watching ABC.
What are you cooking, man? Are you cooking anything? What you putting together?
I'm not cooking. I'm running out and getting a breakfast burrito, potato, egg, and cheese, and then I'm coming. Yeah,
you're coming back, and you're gonna gear up and get loud and get yourself going.
Yeah, get ready for my Bruins versus those Bayou Bengals.
There you go. Let's do it, Bruins. Let's go.
All right, man. Let me play your music.
Cue me up, maestro. Cue me up.
Bam, bam, bam.
Turn my headphones up.
Turn me up in the headphones, Guru. Come on, Goo. Come on, Goo.
Man, anytime you put this song, man, it gets me in that place. All right, so for this week's closeout, I want to stress the importance of taking some time to put your phone down. So many of us are codependent on our phones and screen time and being in the know at all times. And I think a lot of that, at least for me, since I have so much of it, a lot of times it builds up so much anticipation. I'm always anticipating, okay, when's the next email, the next text, the next something? So this is a week in which I've decided that moving forward, I'm going to take some time away from my phone. If that's getting outside for a walk, a bike ride, or just sitting having some quiet time or reading a book, just going to spend more time investing in self and taking some time away from the screen. So that's it for me, man. Invest in self, take some time away from always being on your phone and devices, and I think that'll help you as you do continue to invest in yourself. So that's it.
That's what's up. Well, thank you for that, sir. And I'm going to definitely take that advice. And I'm going to be clear with anybody who wants to reach out to me. You have about 38 minutes, and then don't talk to me for the subsequent 2 hours.
I'm jumping in on this, and he is true to form. Trust me. If you text him while his game is happening, you get so much too, where your phone's gonna start smoking. He's typing in all caps, bold, highlighted. He's typing in text that you've never seen. His disdain for you bothering him during his game, and he's the ultimate rude person when it is his game. So please give that man 2 hours and 45 minutes of uninterrupted time. I think the only person or persons that can contact him are a 6-year-old person, mom, and maybe sister. And I'm saying maybe on sister. But other than that, do not contact him for 2 hours and 45 minutes once that game tips off. Back to you.
And the 6-year-old person's mom can contact me too, because it's probably a 6-year-old. So
there you go.
That's it. So you know me, and if you don't, so again, shout out to all of the first-time listeners, the last-time listeners, and everybody in between. First-time viewers, last-time viewers, and everybody in between. I say protect your peace at all costs. I say that at some point every day, and I mean it. Please protect your peace at all costs. Add that to what Sam said, and that's what I got. I love my kid, my 6-year-old daughter, Kayla. I love you. Artwork from her. She's actually sending me messages. Can you play with me? I played with her that day, and she drew the daddy owl and the baby owl, and then she put 2 daddy from Kayla. That's artwork from her. I love my daddy. All of that. I love my kid. I miss my kid. I'll see her again Monday when I get her back for the week. And interestingly enough, I have 8 days off from lacrosse. From officiating. That rarely happens during a school year, especially outside of football season when the games are every week anyway. But I had 3 games yesterday, and then I don't work again until next Saturday. So it's super dope. Vonda, going back to Beyonce, Vonda's commenting, she's super country because she's from Houston, but her daddy is Texas, her mama Louisiana. She'll tell you in several songs. So yeah, she's country. I'm done. So we absolutely appreciate you guys. This is episode 140 of the Collective Podcast. I'm AC from LA. He is SG Trilogy, and together we are the Collective Podcast. And we had a ball. We said we'd be here for a good time, not a long time, and clearly we were here for both.
High five, man. High five, man. Come on, let's go.
Good time and a long time.
Come on, you got it. You almost got it. Come on.
Well, no, I'm here, but you out of the screen. There you
go. We right there, dog. You gotta focus. Come on.
Okay. You win. Sometimes you just throw up your hands, and because you know what they say. From afar, if you argue with, I'm not saying this is Sam. Okay.
You argue with a fool. Who's the fool? I know where you're going.
People can't tell who is who. So just say okay. Just say okay.
That was a backhanded compliment. What? Thank you. That's what I'll say. I don't know.
Listen, man. What are we doing here? Woo! I mean, we got to get it in. We got to get it in. Oh, we got to play Sam's God, brother.
Loyalty ain't just when it's convenient.
Look at Sam
Like,
getting
loyalty when
nervous.
it's convenient. That's why I said what I said. People scream loyalty and loyalty and loyalty, but if he didn't give you that bag, he didn't create that opportunity, would you still be loyal to him? You probably wouldn't. You know?
That's enough. See, there you go. Look at her. Look at her. Hey, we are out of here. Thank you for coming through. Oh, we got another comment before we go. I don't miss the last one. Mom's again. Hey, Mom.
Hey. I guess she's hitting us up from all of her different social platforms. So thank you, Mom. We appreciate you.
Bang, bang.
Yes.
Social platforms. All right. We're out of here. Episode 140 of the Collective Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, viewers, listeners. Thanks, Moms, for coming through. iPhone Licious, Vonda, Cobbs, Stephen Nichols, who was a first-time viewer. Just want to throw that back out there. Thank you.
Oh, dope.
I just noticed that this is Bruin Hearts. So, yeah, go Bruins. And go Bruins today. 4's up. Let's go. Tupac, take us home, my brother.
Cobbs, run me my $2. Or I'm going to be on a beach cruiser riding through Long Beach. I need my $2.
Said he got it for you. Said he got it for you. Let's go. We out of here.